Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session. This is week 8 of Stepping into the World of Dementia virtual tour. My name is Tamaria Smith-Gillespie, and I am the owner of Royalty Senior Service Consulting and a geriatric consultant. For those of you, first of all, I would like to start off with telling you, since today is this month is World Alzheimer's Month, I want to speak real briefly and give recognition to my grandmother, who is Fannie Mae Fondren. And she passed with Alzheimer's. And so that she is one of the main reasons why I started this business. So in honor of World Alzheimer's Month, I did want to show appreciation and gratitude to my grandmother, Fannie Mae Fondren. And for additional information, you can go to royaltyseniorserviceconsulting.com to learn more about the story behind the business. But today's session is entitled, Let's Have a Home Care Chat. And the reason that we're doing this is because a lot of caregivers are taking care of loved ones, especially those who are suffering from dementia. They're oftentimes thrown into the role and they lack the knowledge about home care. So this is why we're doing this session on week 8. And I would like to take the time to welcome our guest speaker on today, Miss Ebony Ligon, and she is the owner of Compassionate Senior Care. Welcome, Miss Ebony.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for joining us on today.
No problem.
Let me see. I would like to first, if you don't mind, introducing yourself to everyone before we get started.
Okay, so my name is Ebony Ligon. I'm the owner of Compassionate Senior Care, where we do non-medical. I'm also getting Blue Rose Residential, where we will be putting seniors in the homes, and they still get all the services, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They still get everything, but we are a non-medical, and pretty soon we will be also doing medical.
Okay, great. And could you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
So, you guys know my name is Ebony. I have one child. He's 15 years old. I really don't have a lot to say. I like to go skating on Thursdays. I really don't do too much. I'm in the office 24/7. Very active with my employees and my clients. So that's really what my life is around right now, and it's just a lot of my clients. So I love what I do. I'm very, very active with my clients and employees. So that's a little bit about me. I don't do too much. I'm a little boring, I guess.
One thing I reached out to Ebony. We're both in the Indianapolis area, and we had a chat. But I like the fact that she is very passionate about seniors, and it shows because, and we'll get into this later. There are some good home care companies, and there's some that are not so good. And if you're a caregiver and you've already had the experience of working with a home care company, if you worked with one that was not so good, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this session too, so you can get a better understanding about home care and understand how the caregivers work and communicating with the people who are providing care for your loved ones. So we are going to jump right into this home care chat on today. And this is a little different from what we normally do because like I said, I wanted to have a chat-like session. So while we're talking, me and Miss Ebony Ligon, if you have any questions, please put any questions that you may have about home care inside of the chat, and we will address those questions because we want you to have a good understanding about home care. First of all, I would like to start off with asking you, Miss Ebony, could you explain to everyone the difference between home health versus non-medical care? Because oftentimes people What's
What's the
different?
difference? Yeah.
So
So like I was stating, I'm non-medical, which what we do is like house cleaning, companionship. We'll take you to the doctor. If you need assistance with washing up, we will assist you. Now, in home health, which a lot of times you need PA hours for that. If it's now, I don't know if they know about the SOCOA, the private pay, and all of that, but we can talk. We can talk about that. But the non-medical, I deal with SOCOA, so I'm partnered with SOCOA. They deal with a lot of people with Medicaid. So a lot of people that are with the non-medical is with Medicaid. Now, with some Medicare, they will sometimes pay, but it all depends. Usually, they rather have that for medical. So with the non-medical, like I said, we do the lighthouse cleaning, companionship. Just if you need assistance, we don't do anything medical. So that's kind of like the difference. We're not going to do anything medical. But a lot of times when they do say that you need something medical, I usually send like CNAs out. My CNAs can check the blood pressure. They can do certain things that just a regular caregiver couldn't do because they are certified. So sometimes even if they say, hey, you might want to go over to a company that's medical, a lot of times the non-medical companies can do certain things.
okay. So basically, the non-medical company need to be certified, have the certified CNAs to be able to provide the medical side of care. When you talk about the non-medical, you said that basically helping the person to stay independent. That's where the non-medical home care comes in place.
Yes. So it's a lot of seniors that they need assistance at home, but I mean, well, they want to stay at home, but they need assistance at home. So like I have some that's in the nursing home now that's about to transition over to their home because they don't want to be in the nursing home, but they still need assistance. So with them coming onto the company, now they can go home and now they can still have that assistance that they need. Now, because some people are in the nursing home, but they don't need all the other things as far as with medical. They just really need that companion. As far as with medication, now, technically, with a non medical company, you cannot actually give them medicine, but you can assist them. Hey, this is the medication you're supposed to take. You write down the times. So it's really just assisting them with the things that they need.
Okay. And to piggyback off of what Miss Ligon, did I say it right?
It's Ligon. It's okay.
Ligon, Ligon said, um, with the home health also, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Ligon, they deal with sometimes the nurse may come in and also physical therapy, occupational therapy. You deal with that more with the home health and the medical side than you do with the non-medical. So you're not gonna. That's another difference. Am I right, Miss Ligon?
That's right. Uh-huh.
That's another difference between if your loved one needs the home health or the medical, more of the medical side, then you would want to go with home health. Mm-hmm. But if they need help or assistance, basically trying to stay in the home, and they're a senior or whatever, or even somebody who's suffering from dementia, and you may need assistance, you can also contact the non-medical because they can help assist you with bathing your loved one. What is it? Can you go over some of the things that you do in the non-medical more briefly?
Yes. So with the non-medical, we do deal with dementia clients. I only put, I know far as with me, I can't speak with, other home care agencies, but I know with me, if I have a client with dementia, I'm only going to send someone in there that is used to dealing with clients with dementia. So we do assist with that. So we assist with bathing. We assist with just we have some that you actually have to feed them. So we do actually feed them. Usually for non-medical, it is for just assisting. And sometimes people don't understand that it's really just for assisting. So assisting you, helping you walk, helping you go to the store and grocery shop, assisting you with bathing. But I do have some clients that I actually have to help feed, where we literally have to put the food in the mouth. Hey, and we're doing that. So I do that. I don't mind doing that. I know some companies is, you have to be where if it's not medical, we're only going to assist you and there's nothing else. So it's really just non-medical. Now here pretty soon we will have a nurse that would just go out to all of my clients, and this is not every home care, but we will have a nurse that would just go to the clients just to check up on them. So if they need their blood pressure done or something like that, and they feel more comfortable with a nurse doing it, I will have a RN or LPN here pretty soon, and we will be offering those services just so they can go out.
Okay, and you mentioned SACOA, and I know some people, I know you and I are familiar with it, but there are agencies under the Area Agency on Aging and Disability that provide services to seniors. And like she was mentioning, SACOA, that's one of the agencies up under the Area Agency on Aging and Disability, and they provide services and information about various resources to help caregivers, seniors, things of that nature. So when she was talking about SACOA, I did want to bring that out. That's here in Indianapolis. But I know when I was living in Nashville, it was called something different. But every state has a area agency on aging and disability with information about what is it, home care companies, look, Ebony, and resources, all of that. So if you need additional information, you can call your area agency on aging and disability.
And for Indy, I did just put the link for SACOA, where a person can go and get more information for SACOA. I put it in the chat. I think I did it right. Did you see it?
I don't see it. Can you say that link too? And then I'll see about put it in the chat as well.
I have on the side of mine where it says chat with everyone. And so I put it in there.
Okay. It's not coming up. Do you mind just telling everybody?
Yep, it's CICOA.org. So SACOA.org. Okay. And then you can get all their information if you're here in Indy. So usually what they do with the SACOA, as long as you have Medicaid, and as long as you have to make a certain amount. So as long as once they do all of the information, once they gather all your information and make sure that you qualify, as long as you qualify, then that's when they will say, hey, you have qualified, let's set up a meeting. I can't remember how many meetings they usually have. It all depends on if they have all the information, because sometimes you might have one meeting and then they say, hey, you still need to turn in information. And then you let them know. If you already have a home care agency company that you would like, then you would tell them, hey, I already have someone that I like. Also, we do hire family. So a lot of times, some of my seniors, they rather have like their grandchildren or their whoever, some of their loved ones, to go ahead and make sure that they are taken care of and they feel more comfortable with their loved ones. So we do hire families to take care of their loved ones. So if you were to call SACOA, hey, I want to use this company, and I also have a caregiver coming with me. So like I said, SACOA is CICOA.org, and you can get all the information off of their website.
Interesting. You said that sometimes they can hire the families to take care of their loved ones. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yes. So I would hire family members. So if one of my clients say, hey, I only want my granddaughter to take care of me, that's perfectly fine. We do background checks. So I do let them know, hey, as long as they don't have, this, and that, we can hire them. If they have something on their background that's an absolute no, like theft and battery. So we do background check, even though it is family, an agency still supposed to do a background check. So if your granddaughter or a family member wants to take care of their loved ones, they will come in, fill out the application just like everyone else. They still have expectations that, hey, this is my expectations. You still have to follow these expectations, even though that it is family. I know that's how it is for my agency. So any family member, as long as they don't have a background, can work for you.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that, but I guess you have to contact the home care company to see if
Mm-hmm.
that's something you can do. But that's something good because going back, Miss Liliana stated that's a good idea of sending someone who has knowledge of dementia to aid the client, because of course, since this is stepping into the world of dementia tour, um, is I think that's a good idea that you bring people that knows how to deal with, because every caregiver does not have the understanding of how to handle a client that has dementia, because as I'm sure you know that different people exhibit certain behaviors, and some people may not want to take a bath.
Yeah, you
They
have
may
to be
not want
very
to
patient.
eat. They may not want to eat, and you as a caregiver can be like, well, you don't want to eat, so I'm not gonna do it, whatever. You have to understand, okay, why are they not wanting to take a bath? Why are they not wanting to eat? And I try to teach people that too. You have to find out the reasoning behind the behavior. So I think that's really good that your company sends people who are already knowledgeable about dementia out there, because that's not only helpful, that make it easier on them, but it makes it easier on the person who has dementia too.
Yep,
So
and then we also do training. So if I have some aides is, hey Miss Ebony, I want to learn more about dementia, or I want to learn more about this or more about that, then we'll go ahead and train them. So it will be sometimes where they may shadow me and, hey, we're about to go into a client's home with dementia, so just watch how we work with this person. They do have to understand that sometimes you have to redirect them. Sometimes you just have to leave them alone for a hot second. Make sure nothing is around where they can't hurt themselves and everything like that, and just kind of redirect them. And then if they're still not, just leave them alone for a hot second and then come back. So we do teach our caregivers that. So yeah.
all right, well that's good. Let's talk a little bit about the payment for non-medical care. Does the insurance cover that? Because I want to take it from the perspective of somebody who's just gotten thrown into this role. They just found out their loved one have dementia. They're a working person. They're trying to figure out, I need help. Okay, who pays for non-medical care? How does that work?
So Medicaid will pay. Now I do have some clients that make a little more and they cannot be on the Medicaid. So then there's a choice waiver. Sometimes that they can put them on instead of the Asian disabled waiver. Then we'll try the choice waiver. If that don't work, then we'll try different things to see what works. Sometimes it's just you have to do private pay or Medicare is sometimes, so if you have Medicare and Medicaid, it's kind of tricky sometimes, because you'll get Medicare and they say, okay, well, Medicaid is only going to pay for this, but then you also have Medicare, but then they're going to want PA hours for that. So it kind of all depends. You're really going to have to contact SACOA. Like if a person do have Medicaid, contact SACOA, let SACOA know, hey, this is what we're doing. They're going to ask for all of the information. And sometimes it's sad because if you make $2 over, is they can't get assistance. So sometimes with that, SACOA kind of will guide you in a way, well, hey, this will be better. Go ahead and try the choice waiver, or go ahead and try a different type of waiver. But it's usually Medicaid that will pay. And it is sometimes, even with the Medicaid, it is like I have one client that still have to pay like $100 a month, and that's it. But they have over 40 hours a week, but they pay about $100 a month because SACOA is not paying for everything. So you still, is good just to get that information with SACOA and say, hey, this is what it is. That you'll send all your information, and that's how that will work.
Okay. And for anybody that just came on, when she talking about SACOA, that's one of the agencies under the area agency on aging and disability. But like I said, you can locate the one that's in your state. But for Indianapolis, that's one that's located here. Um, what's the pay range? What normally does it cost for non-medical care? If somebody is going looking at, okay, well, I'm not going to qualify for Medicaid because I make too much. What can you give them a range of what it would cost per hour to utilize non-medical care?
So that's going to be it all depends. And every home care agency is different. You may get a home care agency to say, hey, we're going to start off with 24 an hour. And then it goes up. So it all depends because some people just need companionship. So companionship is not going to be as expensive as someone that's in a Hoyer lift. They need to be fed. They need to be taken to the store. They like to go there 3 times a week. So it really all depends. Every case is different. So it kind of depends on what type of services you will be needing to know kind of how the pricing is going to be. And like I said, it can start from 24 and on up. So you really got to see what that company is going to start off with. You don't really know until and a company can't really tell you until they actually do the assessment. And well, that's how I am. Until I actually do the assessment, I can't really tell you what the private pay. I can give you a ballpark. Hey, it's going to be starting off with 24 an hour and it goes up. So it all depends on the services.
Okay. You were mentioning companionship. So companionship is one of the services under non-medical care. And then you have assistance with ADLs or something. What are the services?
So is companionship, is lighthouse cleaning, is taking them to the store, is medication reminders, is sometimes they just need to go to the doctor 2 or 3 times a week and that's all they need. So taking them to the doctor's office. I have some that they just need you to get up and make sure that they don't fall. So making sure when they're walking somewhere that you're right there behind them. So it's everything with non-medical or anything that you can assist with. If they're outside in their garden and they want you to assist them, hey, can you hold these flowers? So it's just really assisting them in the things that they need.
Okay. There's a question on here. It states from Tawan. It says, my mother lives in Texas and is having a major issue with Medicaid receiving your type of services. I guess he's assuming non-medical care that you provide. They are only willing to pay the helper $9 an hour. How do you fix this problem with your company? Or do you have this problem with your company?
So with a company can pay whatever they want to their employees. Now, far as with every state is different. So Socoa for Indy, they're going to pay a certain amount. So if they have, say, 40 hours a week, then they're going to only pay for those 40 hours a week. Now, whatever company you choose to go to, like it's some companies here in Indy that they start their employees off with $10 an hour. So it all depends on that company. Now, I can't tell you from state to state how much Medicaid is actually going to pay because every state is different. Indy pay different from Atlanta. Indy pay different from Texas. So I don't really know far as with the Medicaid. That's something that no one can kind of help what they're going to pay their the providers. Now, the actual companies, that whoever is the decision maker on how much they're going to pay, that's nothing you can do. So if you go to a company and you say, hey, my mom is sick and I want to be the caregiver, and that company say, okay, well, we're going to pay you $9 an hour. That's what the company is going to pay. There's nothing, you can't do anything about that.
Okay. Tawan, you can put inside of the chat if that answered your question. My question to you, how do you work with families in providing care for their loved ones? I'm sure you have some families that are very particular. I want this for mom and dad, and how do you work with the families to get this started? Can you walk somebody through the process? Say, for instance, somebody's on the chat today and they're stressed and frustrated. They're taking care of their loved one with dementia and they need a break sometime and they need to work a little bit. What's the process? What do they need to do? Do they need a referral for non-medical care? Can you please just walk us through the process?
So here in Indy, I can only speak with here in Indy because I don't know the rules with different states. So here in Indy, if a person is saying, hey, my mom or dad, my grandparent, they have Medicaid, what can we do? The first thing I'm going to do is say, okay, we're going to go ahead and call SACOA. Now, sometimes I do go out to the homes because they still like, okay, well, if they call, then I don't know what to say. So I say, okay, well, go ahead and call SACOA. We have set up an appointment. And a lot of times when they do have their appointments, then I would either go to their homes or we'll be on three-way. So if I go to their homes, SACOA's asking them questions. Now, I can't turn in their paperwork, so they are turning all the paperwork that SACOA is asking for. After they turn in all the paperwork, if they are approved, everything go through, then that's when SACOA will say, okay, you know, everything is approved. So now we're going to give this person 30 hours a week. We're going to give the person 15 hours a week. So then if you already have a company, then you tell SACOA, okay, this is the company that I would like to service my family member. SACOA would then reach out to that company and say, hey, we have a referral. This person is la, 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 you know, the name. Would you be able to do an assessment? Then that company says yes or no. They can do an assessment. I would say because it's such a short staff, shortage with the staff, I would make sure that staff, before you choose a company, make sure they have staffing. So if you only want someone for that weekend, make sure whatever company you tell SACOA, hey, I have this company. I did reach out already to that company. They did say they have staffing for my loved one. Now, sometimes you don't know what company you want to choose, and SACOA will send you a long list. So you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know. You just have a long list, and you will just be calling different companies to see which company you want to go through. Now, I would say when trying to find a company, make sure that get referrals. Get if you're at the doctor's office, hey, have you heard of any good companies out? And your doctor might say, hey, yeah, I know company ABC, they're excellent. I didn't work with them. Or ask family members, hey, do you know we're thinking about getting mom or dad in a setting where we have someone coming out there to their home. Have you heard of any companies? Once you do that, then that's the number one thing. And then, like I said, when you're talking to SACOA, hey, we found a company. They're, you know, people say that they're this, they're that. You tell SACOA, they set everything up. Once you do your assessment with that company, ask questions. Ask, do you have caregivers? If your caregivers do not come out, do you send your office staff to the home? In some companies, office staff, they will not do it. I'm the owner of the company, and I would not ask any of my employees to do something I would not do. So I go out and I'm very active with my employees and the clients. So if my employee can't make it, then someone in the office is going to make it, or one of my floaters. So ask questions. Make sure that you're feeling comfortable. Make sure that you're asking the questions that you need. Just don't ask any type of question. So if you are very particular with your family member, make sure you're upfront and honest. Look, this is what I like, and this is what I'm not going to have. When someone is very particular with their loved one, I do let them know. I understand, but either you have to allow us to do the work, because you can get, when it comes to, especially when you have a good caregiver, and I'm very honest with all of my clients. If you have a good caregiver coming into your home and you're questioning them, make sure you're telling them something that is just not out the ordinary, like that's something that they just can't do. I had one person, well, hey, she likes, for you, she's in an apartment, but she likes to clean up the trash. And that makes her happy. So she wants to go outside and clean up the trash. Will your caregiver do that? I'm going to be honest, that's not my caregiver's job. So make sure that you don't get companies where they're just saying something that you want to hear just so they can get your business. So be honest and upfront with the companies that you're choosing, and then make sure they're honest and upfront with when they're asking questions. Okay. Or answering your questions.
All right, that was real good, and I'm glad that that you touched on the fact of, what to look for when you're choosing a home care company. Because I mean, being a geriatric consultant, I heard from some people that, some caregivers go in there and they don't do anything. They just sit, you know, and they if it's companionship, they're just sitting there. They're not talking with the person who they're providing the care for. They're just sitting there, the person just watching TV, whatever, whatever, whatever. But I think it's me personally, it's very important, especially somebody with dementia, to keep them involved, keep them active in doing something, because that helps to keep the behaviors down sometimes when you do that. Does your caregivers, I know some companies do and don't, does your caregivers do activities in the home with the
Yes.
clients, or do they just go in, do the work? And how do
No,
you
we do activities. Now, I have some clients. So when I do my assessment, I always ask, what do you like to do during the day? Do you like to play games? Do you like to, go to the mall? What do you like to do? So once they let us know what they like to do, because you have some that they don't want to do anything but watch TV all day. But if they like to play games, if they like to do different stuff, then it's sometimes where I would bring in the items for them and say, hey, this is what we need to do, especially with dementia clients. Okay, this is what we're going to work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is what we're going to do. So it kind of all depends on what the client wants, because you get some clients that they don't want to do anything. They just really want to chill and that's it. But they need someone there, but they're not into playing cards. They're not into crafts. They're not into that. But I will say, if you have a company and you have a problem with that company, that first week, if the vibes are not well, I always tell my clients when I go in, hey, I want good energy. If you feel that energy is not good, then you let us know right away. Do not wait until something happens and then you want to tell everything that happened 4 months ago. If something happened, if you guys are not happy within the first week, let that company know. And if it is a good company, make sure you look at, if you're not happy with that company and you want to move on to a different company, then you make sure you tell the company. But if you see that company is, oh, well, no, you have to stay here, this and that, that company is just, this not right. We're in this business to make sure that everybody is happy. So if you're not with that company, you have the right to go to other companies. But I will say, and just being honest, is sometimes where it's hard to find it's hard to find good employees. So if you guys do have good caregivers in there and they're trying to do as much as they can for your loved one, sometimes because we love our parents so much, we can be a little overbearing. We can be a little too much. Is, well, no, mom likes it this way. Well, I'm the caregiver and this is how we usually do it. And it's, but no, mom does this, and it's like, no. So try to listen to the caregivers in the company also, so you all can work together, and it would just work out so much better that way.
Okay, thank you. Miss Liliana has a question. What steps with your company for clients? I guess, what are the steps with your company for clients needing hospice care and the client doesn't want medical help any longer?
So with hospice, then you would just get it's a lot of different hospice companies. So whatever company you're with, you can reach out to them, say, hey, for hospice, do you have any companies that you know of that just deal with hospice? So then if they do, then they'll give you the information, and then you would go to that hospice company and say, hey, this is what it is, and you explain what you guys are needing. And a lot of times the hospice companies, they do come out and kind of see what's going on with that.
To address some more on that question, because I know you deal with the non-medical, if you have a client and their family is they want hospice, or the client needs hospice or whatever, how do you work with them on, does the caregiver still do their part when hospice come in? Because I know hospice is on the medical side, and they do a lot of the medical thing that's under home health. But how does the non-medical company work along with hospice still if a family was still, how would that work?
So if they still want the hospice and the non-medical, that can happen. I have a few that's on hospice, so they can't be in at the same time. So if we go in from 9 to 3, then the hospice.
Well, it seems like she has frozen. We're having a few technical difficulties, but we're going to keep moving on until she unfreezes. Um,
Okay,
can
can
you
you
hear
see
me?
me? I
Yes,
can
you
hear you.
froze. You froze.
Okay. Yeah, so I can hear you. So with the, you said the hospice and the non-medical, correct?
Yes, because I remember some years ago, because I started off caregiving in the home, actually in non-medical. And I remember one instance when I had a client who had Parkinson's disease, and I would go in and help to feed and help to take her to the toilet and stuff. Her husband was there too. But one time hospice did come in because they were checking her, I guess her vitals and stuff or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And but I want you to tell them how do you all work together? The family was still wanting the non-medical care and home health coming in as well. Hospice, I mean, not home, hospice coming in as well. How does that work together?
So with that, like I was saying, I do have some hospice clients. And we work well with whoever, whatever company that comes in. I make sure that I build that relationship. So if there's any questions, we can always ask and everything, and we're on the same page. So if we're going in, say we're going in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 to 5, but then they need the hospice nurse to come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or if they need them the same day, usually they'll come either before we come or after we come. So you can work together well with the hospice company. That the two companies just have to make sure that they're on the same page and communicate well with that. So you can do that.
So let me make sure. So the caregiver can still help with bathing and stuff. So that the caregivers, well, with your company, we speak only of your company, are qualified to handle clients who are on hospice, still assisting the bathing, the
Yes.
things of that nature.
And then it's always important too to make sure. So with my employees, when I hire on, especially when I know that they're going to a hospice client, hospice don't necessarily mean that you're just about to just be gone. But when we do see that it's close time or anything, I make sure that that client or that employee that's in there can handle that. That's very important. Also, making sure that your loved ones is with someone that can handle that. You get some that just can't handle death, or can't handle seeing a person, only having a few days. So it is very important to, if your loved one is in hospice, and if your loved one, if they say, hey, we're a month and that's it, it's very important to make sure you have a strong caregiver, and not a caregiver that's going to be in there that's depressed. A caregiver that's going to, the last few days, making sure that they're lively when they're positive, their energy is good when they walk into that home, and not depressed and sad, because that does not help the client at all.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. Could you let us know, just tell everybody if you're a caregiver or you have a senior loved one, because I always say you either going to need home care one day, or you
Uh-huh.
either going to know someone who's going to need home care. So this information is very valuable and important, because when the time, you don't want to wait till the time comes to be like, okay, what do I do? Okay, I need home care, I need help, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now's the time to get this information and understand it, so therefore when it hits your door, you understand, okay, what steps I need to take. Could you explain, lastly, how beneficial non-medical home care can be for someone, especially pinpointing on someone who has a loved one with dementia?
Yeah, so it can be very, very beneficial. Sometimes with nursing homes, some people just don't want to be in a nursing home and they want to be in that setting at home. So it's very beneficial to have someone while you're at work, someone that you can trust to love on your family member, and go and make sure that your family members is okay. Make sure that when they need medication, that they can make sure that they're there for someone to provide them with, assist them with medication. Making sure that while you're at work, if they have to go to the store, go grocery shopping, they can go ahead and take them to grocery shopping. Companionship. It's a lot of seniors out here that feel so lonely. They feel like they have no friends. They feel like no one cares about them. So having that person in there, even for companionship, can help them live longer. Even if it's someone that they just need someone just to, hey, I just want to sit here and read the Bible with you. I want to sit here and watch TV with you. I want to sit here and color with you. So it's very beneficial to be able to have that caregiver, that loving caregiver, to come into the home so the families can still do their, job and still do and feel comfortable with someone actually coming in the home, taking care of their loved ones, and knowing that, okay, I'm at work, but I have this caregiver that's doing what she's for. Companionship, lighthouse cleaning is important. Sometimes as people are fall risk, but they want to stay at home. So if you have that caregiver there, you don't have to worry about mom or dad or grandma or grandpa falling. You have a caregiver there that's going to take care of your loved ones, and write the notes and make sure that you understand, hey, this is what we done today. This is what we're going to do tomorrow. So it's very, very beneficial to have a home care agency at home with your loved ones when they're needing the help.
And another benefit, I'm sure Miss Ebony knows about. I don't know if you do it with your company, but some non-medical companies come in and provide respite, um, give the caregivers a break whenever they need it. you know, so that's another way that non-medical companies are beneficial as well in respite care. So did you have
And then
anything you want
even
to?
with the respite, you still have to be careful with the respite because they have to have that waiver. Now, I
Mhm.
do private pay with respite, and even with what I have now, because I have clients that they can't afford or they Medicaid and we still go out. So we do try to help as many people as we can.
Mhm.
But we do, like I had one, it was a family for the weekend and she needed someone all day. But the family, the Sokoa, they wouldn't get that many hours. So what we did was me and my office staff, we had our employees that was working full time on the weekend, but then the office staff, I went out, the office manager went out. So we had the three shifts around. So it kind of all depends too. But I just say, I'm sure we're about to be ending pretty soon, but just make sure whatever company that you are choosing, make sure that you're comfortable with that company. Don't just hurry up because sometimes we're so in the rush where, oh, I have to start work next week and I need a company. Make sure that that company is you're comfortable with that company. Make sure that that company you're able to call that company and someone is calling you back. Someone is reaching out to you. Make sure that you ask questions. If they're not coming in, what are you going to do? Make sure you have a plan for winter time. Okay, if you're snowed in, do you have at least someone that can call mom or dad and say, hey, make sure you have this or make sure you do that? Make sure that you guys ask questions. Don't just pick the first company. Now, sometimes you vibe very well, and that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. But if you're one that really don't know and you want to talk to different companies, go ahead and make sure that you do that. Go ahead and make sure that you feel comfortable and that energy is good.
Okay. If you have any last questions, please put them in the chat as we are closing out. Um, if anybody wants to contact um, you, Miss Ebony, because she's the owner of Compassionate Senior Care,
Yes.
and so I did put the information in the box, but also would you also reiterate um, the information how people can contact you?
Yes, so you can email us, info at compassionate. at indieseniorcare.com. Or I'm sorry, I'm giving you the other one. You can do the compassionate at indieseniorcare.com. That one's mine. So you can do compassionate at indieseniorcare.com. You can give me a call. So everyone has my cell. So you can give me a call, 317-748-0151. That is my personal number, where if I'm not at the office, and sometimes my office phone will transfer over to my personal number, but that is my number, 317-748-0151. If you guys have any questions, even if it's questions that you're not coming to my company, which is perfectly fine, I'm always here to answer questions. My goal is to make sure that everybody is in a home where they want to be at, and they have that home care agencies that they want. So even if I can't take you guys and I have another company that I feel comfortable with, I can refer you. Hey, I have this person that can do this on the weekends. You can contact their company. So if you guys have any questions, you have my email, my telephone number, and I'm always here to make sure that I answer what I can. If I don't know it, then we're going to find that answer.
Thank you. Thank you again, Miss Ebony, for taking time out to just really give everybody a good understanding about home care. I hope that all the viewers that are watching on today and those who will be watching the replay of the video, you have a better understanding about home care. Because as I've mentioned previously in other sessions, when you're taking care of a loved one, you have a whole circle of care of people sometimes who are involved, especially when you're dealing with seniors. So home care may be one of them. You may have to deal with non-medical home care and home health together, in addition to everybody else who is involved in your circle of care. So as I mentioned many times before, it is good to have that understanding and get as much information about home care um, before something happens. So therefore, you're not in a rush, like Miss Ebony was saying. You're not in a rush to get a home care company because you already understand. Okay, what's the steps I need to do or whatever, which makes it a whole lot easier. And also, it will make it easier on your loved one because you don't want to ever bring somebody into the home that is not a match with working with your loved one, who do not share the same values. Like she said, every caregiver, nobody's perfect. You're not going to get anybody perfect. And you're not going to get everybody to come in and do exactly the way this how mom always wants it or whatever. You may have a caregiver, for instance, come and fix some eggs for your loved one, but she don't quite fix it like your mom exactly like it, but the caregiver is doing the best that they can. So I hope this was very informative and helpful. And please share this video with other people. The replay will be available at Royalty Senior Service Consulting on Facebook and on YouTube. If anyone is watching the replay, Miss Ebony Ligon, the owner of Compassion Senior Care, she stated her information. If you're in the Indianapolis area and you're looking for home care, you can contact her. If you have any questions, she's willing to help you.
And I like her because
I like her because she's very passionate, as I am, about helping seniors. I really like that about her. And her company is an example of the type of company that you might want to go with. I never tell anybody what to do. It's your decision. But this is an example of a good company. So you make the decision in the end what is best for your loved one. Thank you again for joining us. And if you're not following Royalty Senior Service on Facebook or YouTube, please follow us on Facebook and YouTube, because we have one more session, I think 1 or 2 more sessions to end the Stepping into the World of Dementia virtual tour. And you do not want to miss out on this helpful information. Thank you again, Miss Ebony, and everybody have a great weekend.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.